Hi there. Right, we're going to show you some quick updates in the hobby scene, what's been going on. So you remember that troubled Whirlwind that I got from eBay and it was all stuck together badly and everything? Well, I had to do quite a bit of a job on it. Try and trim away these sections. I didn't want to be too invasive because I didn't really have the confidence to do that. So yes, I got in, trimmed some of these sections up, tried to balance them, literally had to cut into the plastic, shortening and pairing them up more so here and here. And they're still a little bit off, but they are a lot better. And then it was just a case of, you know, trying to scrape off some of the excess glue and prettying it up in other ways, trying to cover it over with things. I mean, there was still a hell of a lot of glue on the thing. So, for instance, I pulled these lights off because they were loose and I popped them back on. This is where I had to scrape away a shit ton of glue, hence all the scrape marks. And I just stuck a Dark Angel symbol in there and the etched brass Aquila opposite it there. And then I'll use this section probably for a transfer. And it didn't come with the satellite that you use for target finding. So instead, I found a real piece of electrical kit. I mean, that's real proper electrical wire there. And it was just sort of like at one of those green boxes, and workmen had obviously come in and extracted some parts while doing a bit of service to the box, and, you know, left it on the ground. And sometimes I find the odd little bit or bob and I think, that'll be useful somewhere. So I've stuck that on, and that's going to operate as some sort of radio-controlled satellite emitter. So it's going to be a different kind of tech. And the way I look at this Whirlwind, and I think it's quite apt really, is that it suffered battle damage, and mid-battle, a Tech Marine's basically come along, and he's fitted some sort of improv make-do setup to the thing, just to make sure that it's going to still be operational for the rest of this battle, and then it can be done out again properly. So yeah, basically the targeting system's been damaged and had to be brought back online. This little section here from another kit, I thought, I'll stick that onto the side. It's kind of like a little pouch type thing, but also it acts as an extra rung. So anyone trying to climb this to get to the top, obviously this would be stuck on, and they could use this as an extra hand hold to pull up. There's a little purity seal there, just decided to whack on. And round the back here we can see that I've tried to create a few more unique things. So I've put a little tail light on, and I've placed it in a certain way so that there's a kind of overhang, but it's on purpose. And a little rangefinder thing there off of the sniper kit, that somewhere basically at the back of the unit, before they deploy, before this comes down, they can have a little peep, periscope style, and see what's out there through this and magnify if need be. And another big change was the section here built up at the back. So I took one of the bits of the weapons systems on one of the kits and stuck it on there. Again, it's a case of changing the silhouette of the Whirlwind so it becomes a unique Whirlwind. It becomes this Whirlwind, not like others. Then my other problem was at the back here, where this had to be restuck back together. There was a great big gap and there was nothing really to hold it in. So I took one of the panels that acts as a front window for the dreadnoughts, cut it in half, or not quite half, but measured it up, and stuck some of it in there so that it acts as basically another component to the piece. And this little cog here, again from the etched brass, I see this, that the Tech Marines come along, and the missiles were still firing, but the movement system had been broken from the damage, so the Tech Marines come along, and he's put some sort of manual override to the movement mechanism in place, all from this cog, so that you can then take a tool, stick it in, crank it, and he can turn the thing manually to help give them guidance, or the crew can themselves, and he'll just hand them the tool and then jump off and say, right, where am I needed next? You know, and to me that tells a story. You know, it's its own little whirlwind. So that's the update there on the Whirlwind, and we can see some of the other stuff is still in progress. We can see 2 units here. We can see my 3rd tactical squad with base colours now going on, and the sergeants, the most that I've got the most to say about here, because he's converted. So I've taken the Dark Vengeance box sergeant, and basically I've already got 2 kind of the same, so I wanted to mix things up a bit. So I've basically converted a mishmash between him and the Veterans box sergeant. So I've given this Vengeance sergeant a bolt pistol as opposed to the plasma pistol that he comes with, and I've given him a power sword as opposed to the chain sword he comes with. And you'll notice that the hands have been swapped round, that one held the melee weapon and the other one held the pistol, so I've had to rebuild the shoulder essentially, and pose it and fill it with milliput to be able to pose and hold like that. So he's basically, you know, he's standing side on, walking towards you, bang, 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 bang. Then when he gets close, he's getting ready to thrust the sword. You can see for his skin tone, the basic first layer there, I think it's Bugman's Glow, has been put on. Talk about glow, whole thing's just gone really fuzzy. But yeah, that's on at the moment and in place. And then the veterans that I spoke of are here. So base colours are and have been going down on these bad boys. And you know, I know that people might say, you know, effectiveness, you could use other things perhaps, maybe you should use Terminators or this, that and whatever, but these guys, right, robes over power armour, they, for me, capture the look of the Dark Angels and what it is I'm trying to say with the Dark Angels. They were the inspiration for getting into it. So, you know, I want to really make a big thing of these guys. And here's the Sergeant, who I've mixed things up with a bit. And that's all good. Yeah, imagine that, Sergeant of the Veterans. And these guys have been made a bit more melee spec'd. So we can see that I've started putting together a couple here with shields. So the 2 different shield setup guys, you know, they'd stand at the front and give the rest of the unit cover, while the rest of them, you know, move fairly quickly to try and get into combat. You see like a lot of pistol and melee weapon, chainsword there and pistol, power fist, pistol. So it's all very much geared for, you know, getting in there quickly and cutting them the shit up, because of course they've got 2 attacks, which is really nice. So I thought, let's exploit that with at least 1 unit of them. And then even if I were to get, say, another 5, then I could build the other 5 as being more ranged, and then they could split off, obviously, into combat squads and play different roles on the field. So I could even do it that way. But obviously, you know, 5 in melee run the risk of being defeated quite quickly. But, yeah. Anyway, that's where we're at. Those are the projects in play so far. Base colours going on. And this about to get a spray. So, there we go.